Today, we'll be watching Extreme Hoarders.
From the outside, it looked like any ordinary suburban house, but from the inside, it was a rat-infested breeding ground for maggots and millions of cockroaches.
These are the most disturbing homes on Hoarders. Whatever you do not eat while watching.
17 segments, 21 disturbing hoarders, 7 levels.
7 levels.
From grandmas with creepy obsessions to hoarding literally leading to death. This is the ultimate iceberg of some of the most
Somebody's died in somebody's died in Hoarders?
Bizarre hoarding buried alive moments to
Oh my god. Okay, she's literally playing on junk. Like genuinely, bruh. Keeping on it is crazy.
Let's start at the tip. Disclaimer.
This channel analyzing disturbing media for critique and discussion. We do not endorse harmful or illegal contents. No AI was used in the making of this video. Yo, what are we about to watch, bro? Yo, nah. Yo. Scare me, bro.
Level 1. Piles clear to the ceiling. Meet Harold, the man who trusted things more than his own children. He appeared on Season 3, Episode 8 of Hoarders Buried Alive, where his struggle to decide what to keep and what to let go made the simple cleanup an impossible task. Being an electrician, Harold's love for collecting and buying new tools was always there. However, that hobby slowly sabotaged every aspect of his personal life, becoming an unhealthy obsession. The man has been married twice. First marriage left him with 6 children, but they too couldn't put up with his passions and slowly drifted away. And when the second marriage failed too, Harold stopped relying on people altogether.
Things started to get worse after my second divorce. Stuff just started piling up. I just couldn't.
Chat, be honest. What do y'all think would make you become a hoarder, though, bruh? Y'all think divorce, losing your wife, will make you just start keeping everything?
Keep track of it all, and the more stress there was, the worse the piles became.
The places that were meant for family began filling up with objects that wouldn't walk away. Boxes lined up, piles grew, and 10 years later, each room was sealed in clutter floor to ceiling. For 10 years, he actively pushed everyone out, yet one person refused to stay away: his 12-year-old daughter, Haley. Upon her visit, she wanted to stay the night, but...
Bro, I would hate having to go to dad's house, bruh. Oh my god, I feel so bad for her, bruh.
Despite living in a 5-bedroom house, Harold had no space left for her. Not a single bed, not even a corner on the floor. However, when Haley stopped visiting altogether, that silence hurt more than the clutter, so he finally reached out for help. That call brought clinical psychologist Dr. DJ Moran and the Hoarding Buried Alive team to Harold's door. When they tried to step inside, they could barely take 3 steps without tripping. The team saw a pattern. After so much isolation, Harold had clearly gone numb.
Bro, got clothes in here from bro, you're not even reading this. Bro, just throw it all away, bro. You don't even, first off, Harold, you don't even read books. Like, genuinely, bro, throw all this away, bro. Like, what are you collecting this for, bro? Just collecting anything.
New normal was sleeping in a cluttered home with a high likelihood that something from somewhere would fall on him and he'd get buried under the mess of his own creation. However, Dr. Moran had another ace up his sleeve: a handwritten letter from Haley begging for only one thing: a chance to stay with her dad.
If anything was to make me lock in, bro, it would have to be this, bro. Bro, my daughter tell me lock in. Come on, bro. You got to, bro.
Dear Dad, you are the only person who can understand me. You are a wonder man and dad. You mean the world to me. It would be wonderful to finally be able to stay the night at our house. I love you more than any dad in the world.
Her words cracked something open, but for Harold, letting go of years of obsession wasn't that simple. Each time the team picked up an item, he argued for its usefulness. So April, his daughter, tried to ask a question that Harold couldn't dodge.
Are you going to use it within the next 30 days?
No, but next 60.
Wait, what even is that?
Dodge.
Are you going to use it within the next 30 days?
What even is that?
No, but next 60 days.
Bro, get out! Bro. What you mean next 60 days? Unc, throw it away. Bro, why does he have an attachment to a hose?
Me?
It's not even, you have attachment to the hose, but not the hose. Make that make sense, Unc.
The answer came no, the item was gone. Family and friends joined in, and for 4 weeks they helped him clear the house. And when the last pile came down, Haley finally had a room at her dad's.
Oh, W!
Harold was finally rescued from his own mind.
Bro, he's crying.
But what happens when someone spirals beyond saving?
Uh-oh.
Doll hoarder. Some collect stamps,
Collected
some
dolls.
collect
This is
coins.
kinda creepy, though.
Joyce collected dolls until they took over her world.
Nah, bro,
But
this is-
she
I couldn't
didn't
even
start
live in
that
this
way.
house. Hold on. Why is she kind of clean, though? Hold on, bro. She actually got her hoard, like, neatly stacked, though, in boxes. I low-key live in her house than, what his name was, Harold house, though.
Something happened that made porcelain
It's kinda
feel
nice.
safer than people. 48-year-old Joyce shared her home in Southern California with her sister Lisa, who had just moved in, and immediately discovered the house wasn't livable. But if Lisa was now there, couldn't she have gotten rid of the clutter? That's when Joyce's rules came in.
When you can't find things and everything is just so crowded against you, it's like the walls are
It's
closing
like she
in
got
on you,
stacks
and
on stacks.
it's just too much.
Even if the
I mean,
house
it's
had
like
become a
it's at
maze of
least there are
boxes,
boxes,
plastic
but
bins,
damn,
and
though.
dolls staring from every corner,
At least it ain't food, Jack.
Lisa couldn't
At
move a
least it ain't
single
food.
item without Joyce's
Food, that's
permission.
just way crazy.
It all began when
Way
her
crazy.
marriage fell apart. The silence that followed
Bro, wait, bro.
without Joyce's permission. It all began when her marriage fell apart.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. If I get married, bro, I'm with you for life. Cause, bro, I can't lose my wife. Bro, why are they all turning to hoarders? Bro, what is it about marriage that just makes you want to keep everything after they leave, bro?
The silence that followed was unbearable, so she filled it with dolls. For her,
She
every
had
doll
dolls.
was a child she
I
never
think she
had.
signed the papers.
At first, it felt harmless, $1 or $2 for comfort, but each new one brought a smaller hit of
Bro,
happiness.
no,
So
bruh.
she kept buying
She got
more.
life-size
However, the
dolls,
purchases
gang.
didn't just stop at dolls. Over the years, she amassed almost 500 dresses, thousands of books, and enough craft supplies to run a store. However,
y'all think y'all
this
can live in
emotional
this?
substitution came at a cost.
Attachment?
Her affection shifted from
no way
people
she got
to
attachment to
possessions, so her
$1,000,
relationships and finances began to crumble.
It's towards
She had
real-
spent
nah, facts, bro. She
$60,000 on the
living in a
clutter,
true-story
and what's even more appalling
Bro,
was
no
that she
dogs
wasn't
come
willing
alive
to
at night.
stop even after losing her job. And as her bank accounts neared zero, reality finally broke through. That is when Joyce reached out to a psychologist, Dr. DJ Morin. But what he found wasn't just a creepy obsession, as her family had quoted. It was a lifetime of trying to buy the love she never got.
Well, I bought it to be happy, but then after it reaches a certain point, there's so
more
much of it
happiness.
that
Damn.
being with it makes you unhappy.
As a child, Joyce
No, imagine though how much money she would make though, bruh. If she just sold, she probably got some dolls from like 1960. Bro, the bread she would make for the antique dolls, they don't even make no more.
never received gifts, so when she finally could buy something for herself, she couldn't stop. Since Joyce couldn't face the cleanup alone, Dr. Morin brought in professional organizer Danica Malley to help her. Along with her daughter Stephanie and a few friends, they began the gruesome process of decluttering.
Okay.
Joyce struggled to let go of even a single doll, often defending them as if they had feelings, while the people around her tried to teach her the emotional skill of releasing attachments.
Let it go.
After 6
Let it go,
exhausting
man.
weeks,
Just let it go.
Joyce finally sold
Let it
most of
go,
her
let it
collection,
flow.
earning about $3,000. Although it wasn't much compared to the
Wait,
original.
hold on, wait. How much? She got, wait.
After 6 exhausting weeks, Joyce finally sold most of her collection, earning about $3,000.
Okay, who scammed her? Bro, there's no way. Bro, there's no way she had $3,000 and made $3,000, bro. Bro, somebody just had to come up of a lifetime. Bro, what? Bro, no. There's no way. There's no way, bruh. She must have just told him in bulk, bruh. That don't even make sense.
Although it wasn't much compared to the original amount she'd spent,
I know she said she spent 60, right? Yeah, she spent 60K and only makes 3K. Is nobody playing with dolls no more or something? Like, bro, that's crazy.
still a step in the right direction. The right direction being away from the creepy dolls that keep staring at me. Level 2. Things versus family.
Okay, level 2.
What
bruh.
makes a
See, I wonder how
mother
dark this
abandon
iceberg
her
gonna
own
get, bruh.
child?
We only
Well,
level
in
2 now.
Kathy's case, it was a pile of absolute garbage.
Okay.
Episode 7 of Season 5
Okay, now
led us
this
into
is-
Kathy's house and the
Come on,
mess she had
Kathy.
created for herself.
Wildin',
Kathy
you know
lived
you
with her
wildin'.
son CJ, but their place looked more like a landfill than a living space, with towers of papers, boxes lined up, and cans of expired food scattered everywhere. And because Kathy couldn't let go of the garbage, she ended up losing something far more
Oh, Kathy, what is this?
precious, her son.
I'm not happy with it.
Did she even
I
find
know
her
my
son?
son is not. It's
Zay
like
was
a
good.
nightmare.
That
At just
little
12,
kid
CJ
goes-
packed
I
up
see you
and
on
moved
YouTube,
next
man.
door
What's
to
up?
his grandmother's house where he could finally breathe. This should have been Kathy's wake-up call, but she barely blinked.
Kathy, we gotta lock
Rather
in,
than
man.
seeing loss, Kathy saw betrayal. To her, CJ hadn't escaped. He'd been stolen by Kathy's mother. These manipulative blame games went beyond typical hoarding behavior. There was something else causing it, something
Bro,
Kathy
she-
was trying
bro,
hard to
like,
bear.
Bro, you can barely get to the toilet, man. It get to a point, bro. Somebody said, "Oh, call CPS." I'll call CPS on my parents. Nah, I ain't gonna lie. This is if I lived in this, bro. I ain't gonna lie, Mom. You gotta go. I would call CPS. I'm not gonna lie, bro. You gotta get me. I low key chat. Be honest though. Would you rather live here, bro? Wait, hold on. Would you rather live? I'm trying to get a good example of the crib. Would you rather live here or would you rather live in a foster home? Be honest, bro. Here or foster home, bro? Here or foster home? If you had to choose, bro. There's worse. Zay, just wait. There's worse. I mean, we is only on level 2.
Behavior. There was something else causing it, something Kathy was trying hard to bury under the mountains of junk. And that was revealed when Kathy's brother was brought into the conversation. Their father had been a violent. Their mother took the brunt of it, but Kathy wasn't spared either. She carried the same fear into adulthood. That trauma never healed. Instead, she coped by clinging to things as a substitute for safety. However, having a traumatic past doesn't excuse you from present responsibilities. 5 years passed, and poor CJ grew up believing that his mother had chosen garbage over him.
I hate the way that my mother acts. I am pretty mad at her over the whole situation because it really does feel like she is choosing the things over me. But I kind of guessed that I accepted that quite a while ago.
When he finally confronted her, Kathy denied everything. She insisted she never meant to hurt him. Yet somehow in that confrontation, something changed. For the first time, she saw what her son had seen all along. And that's when she reached out to Dr. Julie Pike for help. Dr. Pike gathered Kathy's brother, son, and mother in one room with her. Every unspoken tension, past conflicts resurfaced, but this time, Kathy didn't hide behind the clutter.
Some people can block things out like you do. If I could block those things out, being by my father and seeing you being up.
Yo, Dad, man. He was just hitting the whole family.
And choked, I would block them out.
Finally, she was able to let go of everything she had been holding on to, and the house was restored to its original state. But even with the clutter gone, could a clean house ever undo the mess left inside CJ?
Nah, I don't think so, bro.
Level 3. House full of dog feces.
What? This is only level 3? Bro, what? Nah, blow up the whole crib, gang. Blow up the entire crib.
Feces on the floor, spoiled food in the kitchen, and air.
Bro, look at that pizza. nah! Bro, nah, gang, pizza from 97! Oh, nah, bro! Bro, nah, what is she saving it for, bruh? And watch her say, don't throw it away. Why would we not throw this away, bruh?
Too thick to even breathe. Yet Beverly
They gotta go inside her crib in hazmat suits.
insisted it was still a clean and lovely home.
If I'm having a bad day and I go and buy something,
Bro, please get the dog out of here, bro. Why did they bring a dog inside this house, man?
the day feels better.
I'm sorry, but this makes me want to cry. It really does.
It made me want to cry.
I was just shocked.
Beverly lived alone with her 2 dogs and a mom.
I was just shocked.
Beverly
Bro,
lived
her belly can barely fit through the corner. Bro, it barely fit, bro. She too big for this house, man.
alone with her 2 dogs in a modest house.
Women?
So far, I mean, we have seen one dude. I don't know if they just highlighting the women, or I don't know if dudes be hoarding though. I don't know if dudes be more so doing eating. They more so, you feel me? I don't think dudes are more likely to hoard, so far at least.
However, after years of compulsive shopping and hoarding, there was nothing modest left in that house. Every room was drowning in filth, towering piles of trash, dog feces baked into the carpet, and a smell so strong it could not get back.
Oh, I'm not going back. What was I'm gonna say what was on those steps, but we know what was on those steps, bro. This is genuinely crazy.
At the door. Still, Beverly had no problem living in that quarantine zone of a house. That was until the trash broke the quarantine and started piling up in her yard.
Crib,
Neighbors could no longer bear the sight, but they waited, hoping she'd clean it up herself. Weeks passed, and the piles only grew taller, so someone finally called the police. It wasn't the first complaint. This was the 66th in 4 years, and this first complaint. This was the 66th
66 house complaint is crazy, bro.
in 4 years.
How is the city even letting her still live here, bro? Shouldn't they can't they declare the house like uninhabitable and she have to like give up the house like to the bank?
And this time the city police decided to act on their own. When they arrived, they began clearing the yard, but nothing could have prepared them for what lay inside. The door barely opened and the house was literally decaying.
Bro,
living there was a health risk. And that's when Constable Curtis Horner was assigned to the case.
Oh, that is a lot of feces.
All right.
Cleaned up about a year ago.
He gave Beverly a final warning to clean up or the city would condemn the house.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, bro. They did give a warning, bro. You eating, bro, go ahead and leave. This is a terrible video to eat to, bro. Mind you, chat, what are we on? Level 2? Level 3? What level are we on, bro? YouTube, what level they said we on, bro? Bro, we ain't even got to the top of the iceberg, bro. How much worse can this get?
For the first time, Beverly realized
Adult protected services get called in, then they determine whether or not they have to condemn the home or something.
this wasn't about clutter. It was about losing the last thing she owned, her home. So Beverly finally called a professional cleaning company for help. But when the cleaners arrived, they froze. The fridge was stuffed with rotten food, crawling with maggots, and upstairs piles of...
The smell went right through my mask and everything.
The smell breaking through the mask.
It was bad. I don't think she could have returned that fridge.
Therefore, they refused the job. In the end, Beverly was left alone, surrounded by everything she had hoarded in decades. The threat of condemnation hanging over her head, she had no choice left but to face her own mess. Days later, Constable Curtis returned, and this time...
What's the biggest animal you can take in ones?
You must thought I wasn't gonna be here. I ain't gonna lie, I feel like I could genuinely fight a bear, bro.
Could finally step inside. The trash was gone, and for the first time in years, there was a space to walk free. The episode ended there, however, Beverly's story didn't. In 2014, at the age of 66, tragedy struck once again. The ground floor of her Connecticut home, buried under years of hoarded debris, gave way, collapsing beneath her. Beverly was trapped in the basement with no air and no way out.
No air? What do you mean, no air?
she suffocated.
Wait, chat. Wait, what?
And this time, he could finally step inside. The trash was gone, and for the first time in years, there was a space to walk free. The episode ended there. However, Beverly's story didn't. In 2014, at the age of 66, tragedy struck once again. The ground floor of her Connecticut home, buried under years of hoarded debris, gave way, collapsing beneath her. Beverly was trapped in the basement with no air and no way out. She suffocated under the very weight of the life she couldn't release. And so, the house she once called home became her tomb.
Wow!
House that ate teeth.
What? How? How?
In the chaos of her collapsing home, Lynn's teeth were the last thing anyone could expect her to lose. Kyle and Lynn appeared on the 9th episode of season 5, and even years later, viewers couldn't forget what they had seen inside their home. Every corner was buried in things they didn't need, things they forgot, and things they couldn't let go of. But it wasn't always that way. When Kyle met Lynn, he thought he had found peace. However, soon after the marriage, clutter turned into conflict, and conflict into decay. Each attempt to clean became a battlefield, accusations flying until silence settled over the same untouched piles. After years of this cycle, their home now resembled a landfill, yet neither would take responsibility.
Bro, I ain't lying, bro. At this point, it's just both of y'all. What do you mean, bro? Like, nobody take it, bro. It's both of y'all doing the mess. No, you made the mess. No, we both made the mess. Let's be honest, bro.
I'm gonna lose everything I own, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. 3 feet.
You're gonna clean. That's what you're gonna do.
What's underneath it? Nobody knows. Everything is getting progressively worse.
But just how long could they keep living in denial and garbage? Everything has an expiry date, and theirs came stamped on an envelope of foreclosure. The mess they had created was finally catching up to them. And since they couldn't clean without bickering, the couple sought professional help. When Dr. Samantha Morrison stepped inside, the smell hit her before the shock did. Still, what disturbed her the most wasn't the mess, it was Lynn's slurred speech. When asked about it, Lynn muttered that she'd lost her dentures somewhere in the clutter. That was the moment the full scale of their chaos became undeniable.
First thing, how your teeth fall out your mouth? That means your mouth was too wide open while you was clean. How, like, y'all
There truly are levels to being a dirty MF.
Nah, facts, genuinely.
Morrison called in a team of cleaners.
I had lost my teeth. So somewhere like around here.
They just
my
fill
teeth
out your
in
mouth.
this area. Yeah.
Or dentures do that a lot.
This is definitely the worst hoarding house I've seen.
As the crew worked, Lynn's discomfort grew. Every item tossed out felt like a piece of her prized possessions being stripped away. But with Dr. Morrison's steady reassurance and the threat of foreclosure hovering overhead, she somehow kept it together. However, it was the viewers who couldn't keep it together when, midway through the cleanup, Lynn's dentures were found, and she played them straight into her mouth without even rinsing. That couldn't keep it together when, midway through the cleanup, Lynn's dentures were found, and she placed them straight into her mouth.
Gang, she's disgusting. She's disgusting, bro. I'm not gonna lie, she's genuinely disgusting.
Mouth without even rinsing. That single moment said more than words ever could. It showed how detached she had become to hygiene. The kind that didn't just consume the house, but the couple inside.
I hope we can help move her forward, but I'm afraid she's going to really have difficulties if she doesn't continue with some therapy.
Yeah. Her brain ain't even in her head, gang.
The house
like her brain and her dentures. I was gonna say it's in her head, but nah, her dentures control her brain.
Was finally cleaned. But with patterns like theirs, no amount of cleaning could ever be enough. No matter how much was thrown out, they'd always find new ways to let the
alone? That's your ball, bruh.
Garbage back in. And if they keep arguing like they have been, Kyle better watch out, because I'm pretty sure Lynn's bark is no longer worse than her bite.
Yeah.
Shot high. How could one traumatic event change the life of a man who once shaped so many others? Wayne was once a respected high school principal, calm and composed, but One tragic day at school changed everything. Now he lived between hordes and hordes of unwanted things. And when his cluttered home was shown on Hoarding's Buried Alive, viewers only had one question: what led to this?
Hoarding has diminished my life from being able to live to just being alive.
Trying to walk through all this.
Dang, what is what? All right,
To just being alive.
Anybody, Zay, is my first stream, bro. Yo, welcome to the stream, man. Shout out to Juliet. Yo, what are these though? Are these water bottles? What is he walking on, bruh? It's low-key pissing me off because you do this every day. You never thought once to pick up a couple of them at a time and take them out and throw them away? Like, this is your daily routine to the bathroom, bruh.
Trying to walk through all this.
Like, imagine having to go, what is that? Is that apple juice? Wait, is that strawberry juice? What is that, chat?
The answer lay in Wayne's past. During his job, he had survived a school shooting.
What though?
That incident left him. During his job, he had survived a school shooting.
Whoa. Whoa. So that's what caused him to start hoarding?
That incident left him with scars of PTSD, and that trauma triggered compulsive hoarding. Over time, his home became a barricaded fortress of garbage, meal replacement shakes, and bottles of rotten milk. What was
that's milk.
meant to protect him from the world
Like
had
protein
instead
milk.
trapped him inside it. Soon, his daughters stopped visiting.
Yeah.
Conversations became
Bro, I'm a
confrontation.
female, I don't want to, bro. I was gonna say if I'm a female, I don't want to live in this. I'm a grown-ass man and I don't want to live in this. Like, what? I'm a human being and I don't want to live in this.
And the man who once
ain't no
inspired
dog,
students couldn't even face his own
Nobody trying to
family.
deal with none of that.
What do you need from your dad, Lauren?
I want to know why me and Rachel weren't worth your time and your effort.
You were worth my time and effort.
Then why didn't you put in the time and the effort?
When they asked why he wouldn't change, Wayne deflected the blame toward the world, the past, and the shooting. However, after 7 years of running from it, he finally called for professional help. Dr. Becky Beaton and a team of organizers arrived, finding not just a house in decay, but a man ready to reclaim his life. For the first time in years, Wade stayed through every breakdown, every painful memory unearthed in the process.
I hadn't thought that it was possible to see the floor,
BRB, I have
to
to
walk
go
up
to the
the stairs
hospital.
without fear.
Damn, hey, praying for you, Slipknot. I mean, I don't know if you comfortable telling us. Well, you can DM me what happened if you want, but I'm hoping you alright, bro.
Tripping or slipping. It was a miracle.
And slowly, room by room, the house began to breathe again. And hopefully, so did Wayne. Level 4. Pet.
Okay, I can't say the word. I'm not gonna say the word because they ain't say the word. But, bro, don't tell me it was a dog. That's crazy, bro. Imagine losing your dog, thinking your dog got lost, and then you find your dog inside the hoard. This is crazy, bro.
Found inside Hoarders' house.
Oh my goodness.
In the entire 8 seasons of the show, no other episode shocked viewers quite like this one. When cameras entered Darlene and Doug's home, the crew wasn't just documenting clutter, they were stepping into an actual nightmare. Darlene, once a sales associate, proudly admitted she had been a hoarder since childhood.
I consider myself a hoarder. As a small child, I remember shoving.
Oh my goodness. It was some cats, wasn't it? Bro.
Rat-infested house.
Ew!
From the outside, it looked like any ordinary suburban house, but from the inside...
Bro, how do you even live in this? You got Ratatouille running around and he not even making dinner. Bro, no way, bruh. Bro, no, this gotta be like New York, gang.
It was a rat-infested nightmare. Michelle had spent years hoarding any...
Oh, child, y'all know I got that one... Bro, y'all know I got that one clip, bro? And...
This is my kitchen.
Oh! Oh! That's not your kitchen. That's Ratatouille's kitchen. Her junk is just overly dirty, bro. I'm not gonna lie, gang.
Thing she could get her hands on. Food containers, paper bags, broken furniture. And over time, her collection turned into the perfect breeding ground for rats.
Yeah, bro, he's scratching himself. Bro, no. TNT the whole crib. That's what this need, bro.
The hoarding push my children, son and daughter, and my husband away. My children, I tell them all the time I love them, but they didn't want to come visit because the condition of my house. And that made me sad. That made me depressed.
By the time she finally sold the property, the damage was already beyond repair. The buyers who had purchased it sight unseen walked in expecting a quick...
Like, the fact that, bro, the trash is taller than the stove, man.
renovation.
Trash at the ceiling.
Instead, they were met with a wall of stench so thick it was hard to breathe.
Oh, that inside the house is just totally disgusting. The smell is the part that you just can't explain. There's just garbage everywhere. It was just all clothes and everything.
Trash filled every corner, and the fireplace was overflowing with rat droppings. The infestation was so bad that even seasoned...
I mean, I wouldn't want neither. I was going to say, which one would you rather in your house, rat poop or dog poop? I'd rather no poop.
Cleaners refused to enter certain rooms. They could hear the scratching inside the walls, the constant reminder that this wasn't just clutter, it was living creatures ruling over the clutter. At first, the new owners tried to save the place. They brought in exterminators, hoping to drive out the rats and start fresh.
Exterminators? You can't exterminate... You can't exterminate rats, though, right, bruh? Like, once they in there, bro, I'm lying, they in there for life, bruh.
They returned weeks later. The site was worse than before. Every room was collapsing under years of rot, chewed wiring, and mold.
Yeah, I'm saying they done chewed out the walls and all that.
The horde hadn't just destroyed the home, it had eaten through its very structure. Yet, there was still hope. After 6 truckloads structure, yet there was...
I might keep, that look like a raccoon though. I might keep this one as a pet though. This one look cool. I like this one.
Still?
Everybody else gotta go though, bro.
Hope.
Can't stay.
After 6 truckloads of garbage were hauled away, the house finally stood bare, ready for renovation. And 2 months later, it was unrecognizable. The once rat-infested maze Michelle called home had been transformed into a livable space again. The investors had changed its fate, but it leaves one unsettling question. If they hadn't stepped in, would the house or Michelle have ever been saved?
Oh, nah. I don't think so.
The most extreme roach infestation.
Oh my God. It's like, bro, when you think it can't get worse? All right, chat. Rat infestation, or would you want rather a roach infestation? You have to pick one. You have to pick one. The roaches own the house? Nah, genuinely. Yo, you two. Rats or roaches, bruh? You gotta pick one. Matter of fact, mods, run a poll. Rats or roaches, bruh?
Infestation.
Run a poll.
You can't really imagine what millions of cockroaches sound like until you step into Seymour's house.
Seymour, you dirty dog!
This bee got roaches in her crib book. Crying face emoji.
It ain't
crying
even the girl,
face
bruh.
emoji.
It's Unc! Unc, you living so he eats them. What you mean he eats them? He eat the roaches?
In Philadelphia, a retired orthopedic surgeon named Dr. Seymour lived surrounded by mountains of clutter. Old boxes, newspapers, and broken tools stacked higher than the furniture itself.
This is my house.
This is not your house, bro. This is the roach's house. Yes, this is the roach's living room.
Storage area.
And they paying no rent, bro.
This is like the graveyard of all the junk I have. Nothing in here is that important anymore.
But beneath those piles, something else was living too. Every wall, every surface, and even the plumbing had become a breeding ground for cockroaches.
Bro, I know that. I just know they crawling inside his ass when he sleep. I know they inside your ass. You can't even, bro. You can't even prove me wrong, bro.
Oh boy, I wonder if there's another narrator available to do this one. The infestation was so severe that when his daughter...
There's not enough raid in the world. There's not enough raid in the world to clear all this out, bruh.
Her-in-law once invited him over. It spread the insects into her home, forcing her to call an exterminator.
I haven't been over here in 7 years because The last time that he visited me, he gave me a full cockroach infestation in my...
Nah. If you give me roaches, we have to fight, bro. Or at least you gotta pay. Yo, Mocha, what's good, gang? Shout out to W-Mod Mocha, man. Yo, if you give me roaches, bro, you have to pay me for paying the exterminator, bro. I'm suing you. I'm genuinely gonna sue you for this.
Home, and based on that, I knew that his home was in an unsanitary place that I didn't want to take my family into.
How bad does a home have to get before the city steps in and takes it away from you? Seymour's two-bedroom house had been his world since retirement. Now, at first, the hoard was harmless. Old medical journals, outdated
all these, bro, why do you have all these files, bro? Like, what, like, bro, these patients is probably not here no more. Why do you still have their files inside your crib, bruh? Like, what are you doing? What are you holding this for, bruh?
gadgets, sentimental keepsakes. But as his isolation grew, so did the clutter. What makes a man ignore an infestation so overwhelming that it threatens his own health? He stopped driving, stopped cleaning, and eventually no one came to visit
Eventually just stopped living.
him. When Hoarding Buried Alive arrived to film, they found rooms so full that...
Wait. Shania, someone already did that to me, but that was years ago? Bro, nah. Like I said, yo, passing around the roaches is just so insane, gang.
crews could barely open doors. The bathroom still worked, but every tile and pipe crawled with movement. Seymour insisted he could still shower fine, even as roaches swarmed.
Wait, is that spray?
Seymour insisted he could still shower fine, even as roaches swarmed the drain. For years, Seymour's children begged him to clean. His daughter Jessica described how her father shut everyone out, convinced he was managing fine.
Embarrassed?
Yeah.
But you weren't embarrassed before?
Yes, that's why nobody ever came in here.
Right. But now we're here, and now you can't hide it anymore. And,
Bro! They are living inside Unc's den. Genuinely. They just crawled out his pants, bro. They just crawled out of his pants, gang. It's over with for him.
Has to be done. I mean,
bro,
honestly, do you want the city to come in here?
Bro, inside his... And the cameraman just not gonna say nothing? Cameraman not even gonna help, but cameraman just gonna sit there and record them crawling inside Unc's back pocket. This is insane, bro.
And the city sent a formal
need like a mega bath, bro. Just go ahead, fill your tub up with bleach and hop in, bro.
condemnation notice. The illusion broke. The home was officially declared uninhabitable, and
that's what I'm saying, bro.
Seymour had weeks before everything he owned was gone.
He don't own nothing, bro. The roach own it now, bro. He better off starting a new life. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I need you banned from the country. I don't want, like, yo, send him to another country, bro. Burn all his clothes, burn the whole crib, gang. Like, bro, like, he don't need to be here, bro, if he gonna be doing this, man.
Cleanup teams arrived in hazmat suits using industrial vacuums and foggers to clear layers of roaches carpeting the floors. As they lifted old furniture, entire colonies scattered beneath their feet.
There's no point in trying to, bro, look at how they run. Bro, I'm gonna have nightmares tonight, bro. I'm gonna genuinely have nightmares tonight, bro. Look how they just running, gang.
Saving his house mean confronting the one thing he'd avoided for years, himself. By the end of the episode, professional therapists and cleaners managed to clear most of the infestation, but Seymour's struggle wasn't just with the roaches, it was with letting go. The cleanup may have saved his home, but the deeper battle to reclaim control from a lifetime of hoarding was only beginning.
That's not it. I want to say
House of Vermin.
Wait, what is vermin?
Was only beginning. House of Vermin.
Who is vermin? Is that a person? Vermin, lip, rats? Wait. Why didn't you just say rats? Vermin?
What happens when denial turns a home into a quarantine zone? In Texas, Kay, a retired teacher, lived inside a house so contaminated that city officials were just days from condemning it. To her, it was just clutter, but to everyone else, it was a biohazard site crawling with rats, roaches, and decay. Kay bragged that her house was a treehouse style, but then turned around and completely...
And you just laying in the bed like you don't got a million books. Like, Shawty took reading in bed too serious. Why are all these books in your bed, Shawty or Granny?
Trashed it. For decades, she filled every inch of her house with things she swore she might use one day. Books, trinkets, dishes, even expired food. What began as collecting had turned into a fortress of waste that hid nests of rats and cockroaches beneath.
I have a whole great big huge bowl full.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, that's not only is that disgusting, but I have a feeling she eats these. Why did they collect like that inside of a bowl, bruh? Bro, she's eating these like fruit snacks. Shutting like, bro, she's genuinely eating these like some popcorn, bruh. Gang.
Full of cockroaches here, simply because I haven't cleaned up. They fell in and can't get out.
Like she live inside a Fear Factor home, bruh.
I mean, there's a couple still alive in there. So if you don't mind, I'm going to put the pan back on top.
I think you should throw it out.
How do you save someone who refuses to believe that they need saving? When the hoarding buried alive crew entered with cameras and respirators, the smell hit first. The thick air of rot and animal waste. The kitchen was layered with spoiled food, old grease, and hardened bread that crumbled like stone. Her daughter Shannon tried to intervene, but each attempt ended in shouting or tears.
Stay away from me.
I could not
Just stay away from me, because right now I can't talk to you.
Y'all mom, any of y'all, can y'all imagine any of y'all parents living like this, bruh?
Just stay away.
Insane,
You're
bruh.
mad at me. Stay away from me.
Bro, then they don't even want help. Like, she yelling at her daughter.
Just stay away. You're...
Yo, how you been, Zay? Man, I've been chilling, man.
Mad at me. Stay away from me. Don't say a word to me. I don't want to talk to you right now.
Okay. Why she shouting out every single word, bro? Like I'm slow or something. Like I'm like I got a mental disability or something. Like why she speaking to you like that, bro?
I don't care about the program. I don't care about cleaning up. I don't care about anything. Just stay away from me right now.
The city had already issued its final warning: fix the property or lose it entirely. Biotech crews in protective suits stepped through the front door and stopped cold. The smell was so strong it burned their throats.
Burn their throats?
Underneath stacks of books, they found gnawed holes, evidence of rats digging for years. The infestation was so advanced that technicians believed multiple species were nesting there. The team called it a free-for-all for pests. A therapist tried to intervene. She showed Kay how her attention drifted mid-conversation
the fact that she's just breathing in this air, no protection, is crazy.
To protect a single figurine. The exact moment her anxiety took control. It was a clinical snapshot of compulsive hoarding behavior. If she couldn't part with one ornament, how would she survive losing an entire house? By the final day, the team had removed...
Bro, they filled up the whole damn truck!
How would she survive losing an entire house? By the final day,
probably fill up like 10 of these trucks.
The team had removed tons of contaminated material, yet the city's deadline loomed. Removed tons of contaminated...
What makes... You're freaky. You're freaky, Unc. There's no reason for you to bring your nose and take a whiff of this, bruh. You're freaked out. You're getting off to this, bro. You're getting off to this, bro.
Material, yet the city's deadline loomed. The floors were cleared, but the emotional wreckage remained.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Even though this house, yo, shout out to the cleaners. I still wouldn't want to live in this, bro. Not gonna lie, bro. Knowing the past, bro, I'd skip it. Like, you know how you gotta check the Carfax in your cars to see if it got in prior accidents before you buy it, bro? I still smell it. That smell is never leaving. I don't care what you say. It's still nasty underneath that. I'm not buying this house, bro. Once I see what it used to look like, man, I'm on to the next, bro. I'm not dealing with, bro, it's like you wake up in your sleep, look at the ceiling, a roach just crawling out the ceiling. Like, man, I'm not dealing with this, man. I don't care.
Kay's marriage had fractured, her health was failing, and the home she fought to defend had nearly turned against her.
Somebody YouTube said they need a
father and son.
father and son? Oh my goodness. It's already bad when one person hoards. They got a duo?
Hoarders. In Cincinnati, a condemned property exposed how addiction to hoarding can turn into a family crisis under city law.
What are you gonna do about it?
I need somebody help me! Help
What are you gonna do about it?
Father John and his son Joseph had filled every corner of their home until there was nothing left to live in. No working kitchen, no usable bedrooms, just pathways carved through walls of junk and trash. His property had been officially declared a fire hazard and a public health violation.
Yeah, this is
Inspectors
crazy,
found blocked exits, exposed.
Somebody told me in YouTube chat react to piss air. Oh, I already did. The video's on the channel, bruh. But I ain't gonna lie, bro. Chat, we do need another piss air update. I'm not gonna lie. We do need another piss air update.
Wiring and combustible piles stacked to the ceiling. The property had become so unsafe that the city threatened jail time if the pair didn't clean it.
Bro, imagine, bro, you in jail with somebody, right? They say, what you in for? Oh, well, I didn't clean my house. Bro, no way the city trying to throw him in jail, bro. Like, that's not ridiculous, but it is ridiculous at the same time, bro. Bro, just start cleaning. Like, bro.
But this time, the stakes weren't just about losing a home. They were about losing a child.
I just gave birth to mine and Joseph's baby. I do love Joseph. I love Joseph a lot. But the hoarding is like living in a garage full of a lot of stuff.
2 men, 1 house, and a deadline that decides whether a newborn stays home or goes to foster care. John had spent years collecting and repairing electronics, stereos, old TVs, VCRs, anything with wires. And for Joseph, that pride was now inherited. Outside, neighbors complained of foul smells, rodents, and junk spilling into the yard. On confrontation, Joseph snapped back that what's inside his home was nobody's business. When county inspectors arrived, they found piles of trash pressed against animal cages stacked 3 high. Inside were 12 cats trapped so long that waste nearly buried them. Sorry, Joseph, but animal definitely qualifies as somebody's business. Yet John claimed they were fine, mistaking their cries for contentment.
Bro, save the animals, man. Where's PETA when you need him, bruh? Where's PETA? What is their name, bruh? Where is the animal control, whatever you call them, when you need them, bro?
As cleanup crews arrived, the generational tension broke open.
Hold on. Like motors, electric motors. Tell Jess to come here. He got to go through this.
Joseph's girlfriend, Cheryl, was days away from giving birth. They were warned that if the house wasn't cleaned before the baby came home, Child Protective Services would step in. But would they finally face their addiction, or would history repeat itself before the next generation even began? Tension inside the family was just as toxic. John insisted the city
CPS don't do nothing. Shout out to CPS for the first time ever.
Exaggerated the danger, while Joseph argued it was time to change. Decades of resentment came spilling out with every trash bag removed. By the end, cleanup crews had cleared several rooms. John served jail time, and the property was seized by the city in 2017.
He went to jail!
Reddit users who tracked the case in 2023 confirmed Joseph had remarried and maintained stable housing, while John was last known to be in public housing as of 2020.
Dang, all because you couldn't clean.
Level 5. Worse than a haunted house.
How is that possible, bruh? How is that possible?
In South Dakota, Sylvie Bainen's duplex looked normal from the pavement. Inside, it was drowning in everything she couldn't throw away. It was difficult to move or even breathe, as every step stirred the dust of 2 lost decades. Years of buildup had turned the house into a biohazard zone. The hoarding began after Sylvie broke her leg. While she healed, her husband grew distant, and loneliness filled the house before the boxes did. Sylvie's sons, Mark and Brett, tried to intervene, especially after the poor health condition of their father.
My dad, I think, has had some health problems, and now he's not exercising because flipped the remote. That's all he's doing, and just worried gonna die in the basement.
When Mark's fiancée finally saw the house, she couldn't take it anymore and contacted Hoarders Buried Alive. When the cleanup team arrived, the house seemed to resist them. Entire rooms had vanished beneath years of accumulation. Furniture, dishes, books, even a kitchen table Mark hadn't seen since childhood. Outside, a trailer sat packed to the roof with clothes she hadn't touched in years. The sink, once white, was now filled with thick black sludge.
Bro, how the hell did your sink get like this, bro? No, bro, this makes zero sense. No, this is genuinely worse than a haunted house. How do you do this? Nah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. This might be the thumbnail, bro. How is this possible? Yeah, somebody said that's not a trash bag? Like, bro, they generally just created venom. Venom. Like, bro, they're creating evil monsters in this sink game. There's no way this is real.
That never drained. Yet Sylvie insisted she was organized and knew exactly where everything was.
Okay, well, this is my
Aliens
kitchen.
in the crib.
And I know that it is pretty stacked up of stuff, but everything is fresh. You're not gonna find any like moldy bananas or anything.
To her,
she said, what, bruh?
But everything is fresh.
Cap.
You're not gonna find any like moldy bananas or anything.
Flubber, the Robin Williams movie, If the Experiment Went Wrong.
Bro, she talking about we not gonna find anything moldy, no moldy bananas. Yet I see roaches in the roaches in the cereal. Bro, y'all ever seen that roaches in the cereal TikTok, bro? Like, yeah, what is this, bro? I just seen a moldy sink. Like, bro.
To her, clutter wasn't chaos, it was kindness. If someone needed clothes or boots, she said they could have them. I'm a saver, not a hoarder. Yet saving had become its own form of burial. Family tension boiled over, and at one point, Sylvie shoved Brett, shouting. Her anger wasn't about cleaning, it was about her control slipping away. The house was hers, and she wasn't about to let anyone take it away. Even as the show's psychologist warned that her home...
Say, y'all rather live in this house or live in a ghost house, bro? Be honest, bro. Like, live haunted house in this house, bro. Is this really... Oh, why did it mute, bro? Is this house really worse than a haunted house?
Family, Sylvie saw herself as misunderstood. She owned 20 rental units, held multiple jobs, and pointed out proudly that she wasn't like the other hoarders. Later, Sylvie said that the therapy had helped and she no longer even wants to go shopping. When the cleanup finally ended, her sons returned. For the first time in decades, light moved freely through the rooms, as if the house itself exhaled after holding its breath too long.
When I first walked inside, it was nice seeing the table. Took me back to probably 1983 or 84.
1983? He ain't seen the table in that long, bro.
And it's
God,
it's really nice. It was worth the fights we had on cleanup day.
For a moment, it was about a family remembering what...
He ain't seen the table since 84. Since the summer of 84, bro.
Home was supposed to feel like.
Bro.
Holding mom hostage. For 65-year-old David, the dream of becoming a rock star never faded. Only the surrounding space did. What began as a small collection of guitars and clothes grew into a full-scale occupation of his 93-year-old mother's home.
If I see dirt, I feel it crawling on my skin. How does it get this bad?
I will never know the answers to that, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I think this whole rest of the video, I'm gonna be stuck on that sink, bro. How does water turn black? How do you do that? How do you make water turn black and then make it build up into venom?
He had lived in that house for more than 6 decades. Family dinners, holidays, and neighbors once filled the rooms.
I never really considered myself a hoarder. It's just every once in a while I go to the local dump and just something is so beautiful it catches my eye. And
bro is bringing home stuff from the dump. What is... He that one weird uncle, bruh.
I just have to have it.
But things began to change when David was forced to leave the Navy after an accidental overdose.
What?
Began to change when David was forced to leave the Navy after an accidental overdose.
Yo, bro. That OD fried his brain cells, gang.
His problems progressed after his failed marriage. Now every path of the house is blocked by David's belongings. Bicycles, stacked boxes, racks of clothes.
He's collecting anything, bruh.
And even a phone booth
they need to ban him from the dump, bro.
Wedged in the hallway. David insisted that he'd been taking care of his ill mother, but it was quite the opposite. Her living room has become a storage area, and her bedroom a corner cluttered with bags collected over the past 17 years.
I've never asked David to leave home. I guess because I'm his mother and feel he needs somebody or something.
Never asked him to leave home. Unc is 60. Unc lived with his mom for all 60 of his years. Is crazy.
Place to live. I would hate to see him out on the street.
How did a lifelong family home turn into a storage unit? The closet in David's room had collapsed under the weight of clothes gathered from thrift stores, flea markets, and clearance bins.
Bro, chill on his mom,
He says he doesn't like repetition and needs variety, but the result is a room where nothing can move. David says he's just creative, that artists need things around them. He enjoyed transforming women's skirts into ponchos, layering thrift store finds.
Freaky ass dude, bruh. Freaky ass dude, bro. This dude is freaky, bruh. I mean, it's kind of look like a cool ass poncho. You know what I'm saying? It is low key drip, but I can't even hate on this, bruh. He low key fly.
Like stage costumes that no one ever saw, but creativity blurred into compulsion. Louise, careful with every step, explains she can no longer invite anyone over. The clutter makes walking dangerous, and the fire department has already issued warnings about accessibility violations. The house, by legal standards, was no longer safe. At what point does collecting become confinement?
And the problem is, well, when you do sell stuff, you're still bringing stuff home here.
Like, bro, tell him stay away from
you've got to
the
stop
gang.
bringing the stuff in.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm looking at him more and more, bro. He look like a 70-year-old Trevor from GTA, bro. Like, that's genuinely what he look like.
You won't have enough time in your life.
When the cleanup team arrives, David resists. He insists nothing be touched without his review. He claims everything has value: records, jackets, magazines. Family members urge him to let go, but every suggestion feels like a threat. The standoff reaches its peak when Christine confronts him. She tells David he's trapping their mother, not protecting her. The exchange grows tense. David accuses her of disrespect, shouting that no one understands his system. Behind him, Louise sits silently, unable to reach the kitchen she once used daily. Health officials document multiple hazards: blocked exits, unstable stacks, and reduced airflow due to overfilled rooms. Each item David defends adds another risk to his mother's safety. By the end, what remains is a clear equation. One man's obsession has turned his mother's home into a hazardous zone, a space where sentiment has replaced safety and family ties are buried beneath decades of accumulated possessions. The Donald Trump of hoarding.
What could this possibly mean, bruh? What could that like a billionaire hoarder? What does that mean?
He once sold front row seats to everyone else's dreams until his own life became standing room only. For 40 years, Mike was a successful ticket broker in Massachusetts. He made more than $200,000 a year and could get anyone into any concert, game,
200,000 racks
or show. But when the
imagine making $200,000 in like 08, I ain't gonna lie, you might as well have been a billionaire.
internet changed everything, his business disappeared overnight. The man who once handled sold-out arenas now lived alone in a one-bedroom condo buried under 6 feet of rubbish. The crowd was gone.
Bro, you can't even get in the... Bro, don't tell me this is the front door, bruh. Bro, how do you get up? Bro, is the camera recording on top of the trash? Don't tell me this is the front door.
But the clutter stayed.
No echo. What's good, gang?
It was revolting, disgusting, horrendous. It stank. It was filthy.
Mike's
disgusting.
The crowd was gone, but the clutter stayed.
It was revolting, disgusting, horrendous. It stank.
It's... Bro, he's... Bro, nah. This is too far. This my chat. No, genuinely. No, this is the craziest one we've ever seen, bruh. He's crawling on the ceiling dang near, bruh. There's no way your back should ever touch your ceiling, bruh.
Filthy. Mike's situation is probably the worst that I have ever had to tackle.
His brother Steve called him the Donald Trump of hoarding. If you can possibly imagine, that wasn't praise. It was disbelief at the empire of garbage
He's just chilling on the ceiling.
Mike had built. Newspapers towered against the ceiling, garbage bins lined the walls like insulation. He no longer walked through his home, he slithered over the piles, sleeping on top of them like a dragon guarding its
Bro, he took free will too far, bro.
hoard. The bathroom hadn't worked in 3 years. He kept rows of jugs filled with urine stacked along the floor. He kept rows of jugs filled with urine stacked along the floor.
Disgusting, man.
Rotting food and mildew turned the air into poison. His kitchen is filled with expired food sealed beneath a crust of grease and mold. The dining room table, never assembled. Just another surface lost to the pile. Now at 59, he's living with a rare form of cancer, and doctors have warned he can't.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I don't want him to die, bro, but if he do, bro, it's like, bro, you did it to yourself, gang.
Undergo surgery until the hoard is gone.
He can't.
Mass was found.
He has to clean to have surgery. How bad does he want to live?
Very rare.
He needs a clean, healthy,
Bro, he
safe,
has a
accessible
blanket,
place to
gang.
turn to. He can't go back.
This dude is living
unsafe,
crazy.
Accessible place.
Blanket
He
on
could
top
die.
of the trash is so insane.
This is really serious.
The cleanup crew arrives, but Mike refuses to cooperate. Mike blocked every attempt to move a box or touch a paper, throwing objects toward workers and shouting that they were stealing from him. Even the psychologist refused to enter, calling it a live biohazard. Dr. Beaton halts the process, warning that if Mike doesn't comply, he'll die before surgery. He only had 2 weeks, time was running out, and Mike was the one pressing fast forward. When family members stepped in, there's a glimmer of progress. They convince him to step outside, but his condition turns every moment into resistance. Each box becomes a battle, every discarded newspaper a small defeat. Steve stood in the doorway and told his brother that the stuff was killing him faster than the cancer ever could.
My fears for Mike is that he can't let go of the contaminated things, and that he puts himself at risk, and that he may end up getting a life-threatening infection after surgery.
That broke something. Mike didn't surrender, but he stepped aside long enough for light to hit the floor again. In the end, cleanup resumes, but only under family supervision. Whether Mike lives long enough to see his home restored depends not on his illness, but on his ability to let go of it.
This is tough, gang.
Level 6.
All right, chat. I ain't gonna lie, we're pretty high in the iceberg, bro. We ain't reached the top, but we low-key there, though, right?
House owned by roaches.
Bro, I thought the other house was owned by roaches. Are you telling me it got worse? There's a house worse than what we just seen. There's no way, bruh.
Oh, good. More roaches. Great. If the psychologist couldn't recognize her own disorder, what hope did anyone else have? In Arizona, Celia's home looked calm from the outside. Pale stucco walls, trimmed bushes, the kind of place you'd expect a professional to live in.
Not ready for this, gang.
Bro, nobody is, bruh. I ain't gonna lie, bro. It's no amount of preparing you can do for the stuff you're seeing in this video, bruh. This is just... Every time it's just, bro, this is so crazy. Somebody said, are the roaches paying bills? They might as well be, bruh.
Inside,
Or they might just be living there rent-free.
it was something else entirely.
I'm a psychologist, but I'm also a hoarder. Filling up my room, filling up other rooms, filling up tables, everything.
Celia was a psychologist trained to understand the human mind, yet her own mind had built her
No, I didn't.
a cage.
I did not
Every
say
surface
that.
was buried under rubbish, food, and old papers. The air moved in slow, heavy waves, and then there were the roaches. Millions of them. The infestation was so severe that exterminators described it as alive. Roaches crawled over food supplies, inside clothes, and across Celia's bed at night.
No!
Back off. The sink was clogged with stagnant water that had turned into a breeding ground. Box overflowing, feces blending with the layers of decay. Celia insisted the litter box overflowing, feces blend.
Bro, do not tell me this is 1,000,000 roaches. So bad they had to put it in black and white, bruh. Oh my goodness.
With the layers of decay. Celia insisted she could handle it, but the smell said otherwise. The contradiction is sharp. A psychologist unable to confront her own compulsion. The irony of her profession made the episode almost unbearable to watch. Celia's son explained that this issue started when their parents got divorced and the father moved out. She felt so neglected and lonely and began to stuff the home with everything.
I can't sleep one night without roaches crawling on me.
What? I think I misheard him. Wait, hold on. I thought he meant, like, is he saying that he wants them to crawl on him? Or is he saying that there's so many he can't sleep without them crawling on him? Wait, run that back. Maybe I think I misinterpreted this. I just never heard nobody say that.
Moved out. She felt so neglected and lonely and began to stuff the home with everything.
I can't sleep one night without roaches crawling on me.
Chat, is he saying this like he wants them to crawl on him? Or is he saying like it's impossible to sleep without the roaches crawling on him? I'm so confused, bruh. Both? Cause he just threw me. I thought he liked the sensation of them crawling on him. Like he just threw me, bruh.
I can't go any amount of time without roaches falling off the ceiling onto me or my mom. I wish I could move out.
Oh no, okay, I wish I could move out. Okay, I overreacted, bruh. I thought he was loving the sensations of roaches crawling on him. Okay, he wants to move out. I'm about to say, bro. Gonna start calling your ass Roach Man.
But at the same time, I don't feel like I could leave her alone.
Her family called for help only after exterminators
roaches going bungee jumping on him? Nah, facts.
refused to enter without hazmat
goodness,
gear.
gang.
Her worried son Daniel refers to her home as being owned by roaches. The crew had seen roaches before, but this bad in a house where someone still lives. When the cleanup began, Celia resisted every attempt to throw anything away. She argued that the insects didn't bother her, claiming they were just part of life.
Bro, then go live outside, bruh.
The experts...
Yes, insects are part of life, but they should not be part of your home, bruh. Like, you bring it outside on the inside, bruh.
Froze. There was no clear path forward without risking health violations. Even the show's psychologist hesitated to enter. She grabs at trash bags, pulling them open to rescue items already crawling with insects. Eventually, exterminators started sealing...
Nah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. If my wife tried to come home after cleaning this house, gang, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna get her a hotel. You can't come to the house for a bare minimum 7 days, bro. Do a week cleanse, bro. Cause I swear, if you bring these roaches back to the house, bro, I'm getting a divorce, gang. I'm genuinely getting a divorce, bro. Look at how he's shaking, bro. He should sleep outside tonight. You better not go back in your house tonight, bro.
Off sections
you don't care about your kids or your wife.
Of the house just to breathe. Celia watched in silence, arms crossed, still convinced she could fix it herself. Her family stood outside, unable to recognize the woman who once helped others confront their fears.
I didn't really have that high of expectations because I was very disheartened after that day.
I just want her to have a better quality of life. I don't know if realistically she wants a better quality of life.
In the final inspection, Celia's home was declared structurally safe, but psychologically unstable.
How can your home be psychologically unstable? What? Like she was?
So the question remains, if she can't face her own environment, how can she help others escape theirs?
What's the next, bro?
Jailed twice because of his extreme hoarding.
Bro, why are they going to jail for hoarding? Just clean your crib, man.
On the edge of a quiet rural town, county authorities return to a house they've already condemned twice before. The yard looks less like a property and more like a scrapyard. Broken furniture, rusted bicycles, and collapsing sheds forming a maze of debris. At the center of it all is Donnie, an ex-Marine who has spent 30 years trapped by his own collections. He's already served 2 jail sentences for violating health and zoning codes, yet nothing has changed. Each time he's released, the hoarding begins again. Bigger, denser, more complicated to contain. Now the county has issued one last warning: either clear the property or face arrest once more.
The county or whatever has just got me under the thumb, and they're just trying to push me down and down and down as hard as they can.
But what pushed him to such extremes? Donnie's obsession began after his children moved away. The quiet left behind became unbearable, so he replaced it with objects. Duplicates of tools, toys, and thrift store finds he'd never use. Inside, rooms have lost their function. In one corner, piles of thrift store finds, old radios, lamps, and unopened packages reach almost to the ceiling. The clutter isn't limited to the home. When the piles grew too large for the house, they even—
You said bury his ass under the jail? Nah, just bury him under the house. Genuinely, bro. This is where he want to be at, bro. Just let him just live there and die there again. Bury him under his crib.
And split into the yard, where chickens and goats roam freely between rusted appliances.
Why does he have bro? These folk always got some animals. And where you get goats from, man? Who giving this dude goats?
In Donnie's mind, he's created his own comfort zone. However, that comfort came with consequences. As the problem spread further, neighbors started complaining about rodents and the smell.
It's been an ongoing eyesore to the community. The local people are very upset. They feel they come here
Bro got a whole fire truck.
to enjoy the beautiful scenery, the waterfront property, and then to come and have to see such a junkyard. It should be cleaned up.
With each new complaint, the county's patience thins.
I got food, smiley face emoji.
Whatever you do, don't eat it now. Whatever you do, don't eat it now, man. Don't eat it while watching this vid.
The sheriff explains that Donnie's property now violates more than a dozen local ordinances. If he refuses to clean up again, his third arrest could result in the permanent loss of his home. What happens when your need to collect becomes the very thing that takes your freedom? Dr. Rebecca Beaton said that she had to get to the root of his compulsive hoarding and help Donnie overcome his past traumas that he faced in the first Gulf War. When cleanup crews arrived, Donnie's frustration erupted. He shouted at his friend Joe, who tried to throw away everything with good intent. The team uncovered piles stacked head high, clothing, electronics, old newspapers, all rotting under layers of dust. Out back among the wreckage, they found his goats picking through
Bro, get these goats. Bro, somebody send these goats to a real farm, man.
rubbish. It was no longer a hoard, it was a landfill that breathed. The county gave him one last ultimatum, giving him 2 to 3 weeks to clear the rest of the piles. By the episode's end, the property looked marginally better. The goats were gone, the path to the front door finally visible.
Jeez, bro, that old ass big BBS.
Level.
Oh, all right, chat. I think it's the last level, man. I think we on top of the iceberg, man. Level 7.
Level 7.
Oh, we at the bottom of the ice. The house that killed their mother.
House that killed their mother. The show is no stranger to emotional stories, but this one was different.
My God.
Amy.
No.
Shh.
Oh my God. How did she live like this?
Amy.
How?
In season 4, it wasn't just a home being cleared, it was the aftermath of a life that had already come to an end.
She passed away in, R.I.P. her. Holy, bruh. Holy, she passed away in the crib.
From the street, it looked like a typical suburban home, a quiet house with peeling paint and a mailbox stuffed with letters. But step inside and you realize it wasn't even a home anymore. It was a tomb of memories. Amy, Cheryl, and Jimmy hadn't been inside since their mother died here, alone at 65. They thought they were coming to sort her belongings. Instead, they were walking into the evidence of how she lived and how her life ended.
I know that house did kill her. I know for a fact there's so much black mold in it. I couldn't stay in there longer than 2 or 3 minutes because it was making me physically sick.
For decades, Cynthia had filled every corner with clutter. Food, papers, broken furniture, even appliances that hadn't worked in years. Refrigerators still plugged in were swollen with mold, crawling with dead insects. Roaches moved like a living carpet across the kitchen floor. Rats had built nests.
Look at the toilet, bro. Rats living inside the toilet is crazy, bro. Bro, it's so many rats.
Inside old boxes. The smell clung to everything. And even with hazmat
Great googly moogly
masks, the crew could barely stay inside. The siblings thought they'd come to clean, but what they were really doing was uncovering the truth. Each pile told a story. Unopened mail, expired groceries, empty cans. It wasn't just hoarding, it was a slow kind of disappearance. A woman swallowed by her own things piece by piece. This was how she'd lived. How had no one seen
I'm about to say, so nobody knew she was living like this, though?
it happen? When the cleanup began, the emotions hit harder than the smell. Amy broke down as her mother's belongings were thrown into dumpsters. Cheryl whispered that it felt like erasing her all over again. Psychologist Dr. Julie Pike warned the family they weren't just grieving their mother, they were grieving who they thought she'd been. The house was her final secret, and now they had to live with knowing what it
somebody in there with flip-flops, he bugging out.
kept. The cleanup slows when the crew finds a refrigerator sealed shut. When they pried open, everyone
Bro, buddy just jumped out at me, bro.
finds a refrigerator sealed shut.
Bro, Ratatouille just coming out the corner, bro.
Pried open,
oh my goodness.
everyone steps
That was a cat? Nah, that was a dog. That big ass dog just hopped out, bro.
back. Inside, mold, maggots, and half-eaten meals that turned to sludge years ago. Hours later, with one wall finally cleared, daylight cut through the dust like a blade. For the first time, they could see across the living room, and it wasn't relief they felt, but shame. They hadn't known it had got this bad. They hadn't visited enough. Therefore, the question shifted from how she lived like this to how did we not stop this? Amidst the chaos, they found something worth saving. It was their mother's nursing school degree that she'd wanted her son to hang on the wall.
My mother graduated from college when she was 38 years old from nursing school.
I mean, hey, at least he graduated. It's never too late to go back.
And she said she wanted her diploma found, and she wanted him to hang it on the wall.
When the last truck pulled away,
Disinfect that, Lysol it, and then, hang it up, man.
the siblings stood in silence. The rooms were empty now, but not clean. Grief hung heavier than the dust ever did. The biohazard crew called it a success, yet no one there felt like they'd won.
How much would they have to pay y'all to clean this house?
And that's how one person's denial turned her home into a living grave. If this collapse of control made you rethink what humans can live through, watch this video next.
Man, I'm not gonna lie, crazy video. Craziest Hoarders video I've ever watched. Shout out to this dude, man. Shout out to Abyssal.
Not a single black folk.
You're not even lying.